You've heard from Sports Lab, Sports Lab Overtime, this week in Gator Sports with Jeremy St. Louis, Sports Scene, and Jeff and Pat on Tailgate. Now it's time to bring it all together. This is This Week in Gator Sports, your extra coverage and insider look at everything in Gator Nation. From all of our WRUF beat reporters who have been working hard to bring you the best coverage in Gainesville. I'm Shamar Woods. Welcome to Overtime.
Okay, let's do this. Let's get this thing underway. Here come the Gators.
Back here on TWIGS Overtime, and you just heard from Nick on TWIGS Overtime, obviously talking about the Billy Napier firing Sunday. We're now joined by Tori Kitchens, another member of our Gators football beat team. Be sure to check out her coverage as she had an in-depth look within minutes, or hours I should say, of Billy Napier's firing on the new interim coach, Billy Gonzalez. Tori, what can you tell us about who Billy Gonzalez is?
Well, so Billy Gonzalez is in his 12th season with Florida with 3 different stints. He was here when we won the national championship back in 2006 and 2008 with the Tim Tebow era. So he was a big part of that as a wide receivers coach. He's been a wide receivers coach his entire career since 1994. So basically he's been pretty consistent in that spot. Had a head coaching job before, has had some co-offensive coordinator positions here and there, but yeah, it's going to be a good look to see how he does at the helm this time.
Absolutely. There's been plenty of discussion, and I think you saw even in the hours after Napier was fired, you saw a lot of support for Billy Gonzalez. It seems like he's a player's coach, brings energy.
Absolutely.
And even when you heard from him in Monday's press conference, he said he's going to be himself, right?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of players from his past have chimed in and just been super excited for him. Trayvon Grimes from a couple years back, he was super excited, said that he would come back to Florida for the first time since he left for the NFL draft. So he's one of those players that's super excited about it. There's quite a few of them that are supporting him. He is definitely, he has the locker room just as Billy Napier did, maybe even more so. His wide receivers love him, and I honestly think this was the best choice to make to try to keep those young players in his room.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we're talking about Billy Gonzalez, the new Gators football interim coach who's taking over for Billy Napier, formerly the wide receivers coach. And so it sounds like there are going to be some changes, particularly when it comes to the offense, which has been a pain point for this Gators football team all season long. After catching fire at the end of last season, it just seems like the offense just was unable to get it going. And your thoughts from listening to Monday's press conference and some of the changes that Billy Gonzalez plans to implement moving forward, do you think that will finally get this engine going?
One would hope. I think that the fact that it's going to be more of a collaborative effort is definitely a start to that. Billy Napier held that really close to his chest. He did not want to give that up at all. That was something that he held a lot of pride in doing because he'd done that his whole career. And so I think that the fact that it is going to be a collaborative effort between Russ Callaway with O'Hara, with Gonzalez as well. I think that that's going to be a really big step in trying to get this offense back on track. And I think the fact that a lot of people are kind of upset about O'Hara calling plays, but I do think that it is important with his relationship with DJ as well, because that could also keep him here in the long run, in addition to those wide receivers.
And even like DJ, he spoke as well in Monday's press conference and said that, with working with O'Hara, he's somebody he's comfortable with, somebody who knows what he likes, what he doesn't like, knows his strengths and his weaknesses. And so, as you said, Tori, the chemistry clearly is there.
Yeah.
And so you just hope moving forward, at least starting next Saturday, big time game against Georgia, that we start to see this offense reach its potential.
Yeah, for sure. I think that DJ's obviously been struggling all season. He hasn't been himself, his normal, like last season, that Gator Nation was so excited to see. And I think that I was a little concerned with the firing of Billy Napier, how that would take a toll on him, just because, they do have a very tight relationship that's very evident, and it has been ever since before he even came to Florida. And I think that that's definitely going to play a big part, but having O'Hara step into that position will also help DJ feel a bit more confident, I think.
Well, in the early preview, what else do you expect to see next Saturday? This is a team that has battled up this season and a lot of noise outside the locker room as well. What Florida Gators team do you expect to show up in Jacksonville?
If I'm being honest, I think that they're going to look pretty similar. Not that it's going to be like worse now that you've fired somebody. It does have the potential to get better. I think it would be super cool if Billy Gonzalez led this team to a huge comeback and got himself a new job. I think like permanently. I think that would be a really cool thing to see. But I don't know if I'm expecting much change because they all do kind of have the same culture even without Napier at the helm. So I think that won't change necessarily. Maybe it will be a bit more confident on offense, which will be nice. But then you look at the other side of the ball. I'm not super confident in Georgia, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't had a super convincing win this year, in my opinion. And obviously with the controversy against Auburn, or against Ole Miss, rather, sorry. I think that it's all a mess, and I think that it'll all come to a head next week. So.
Yeah, we'll definitely see.
Yeah.
I would just love to see this Gators team come out with, fresh energy.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Find a way to beat Georgia. Because like you said, I feel like for the first time, at least in recent years, Georgia looks beatable. And I think coming off the bye week and Florida regrouping, we'll have a new coach calling the plays. There's just so much talent when you look at this Florida Gators team, right? And I would just love to see this team just really come out with a fire that we have not seen for a long time.
I think that my message to Gator Nation is be excited about this change. I think that it's scary because you don't know what's going to come, but I think that it is an exciting move, and who knows what can happen. Do I see Florida winning? Probably not, but it could still be a close one, which it hasn't been in the Florida-Georgia rivalry in quite a bit of time.
Now, wrapping up here on Twigs Overtime, of course, we're joined by Tori Kitchens, one of our Gators football beat reporters. She'll be covering the game in Jacksonville against Georgia, so be sure to check out her coverage there. One of the questions that have come up in recent days is if Billy Gonzalez comes in, rallies the locker room, gets a couple wins, big-time wins, starting with Georgia next Saturday, does he have a legitimate chance to become the next Gators coach?
I think he does. I think that people are already overlooking him, which is maybe a bit unfair. Like, Florida hasn't had the best success with interim head coaches, obviously, in recent history. So I think that it's definitely a possibility. He has been coaching for a really long time. He has the locker room on his side. He's done amazing things both with all of the teams he's coached, but also if you look off the field, his son is actually a quarterback at Pitt now in his fourth year in college football, and he did a lot of work with him as well, like in his childhood. So I think that he has the ability to lead a squad, to lead players, to be amazing, and I think that that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, we'll have to definitely wait and see. Tori, last question for you: how does the season end for the Gators?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Will
they make a bowl? Will they become bowl eligible?
I think they will make a bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe a good 6-6, 7-5 to get there. But nothing like a huge run to come back. But
Not like last year.
Not
right?
like last year.
Yeah.
They'd have to win out at this point to be at that point. But I think that I definitely see a couple more losses, but I wouldn't. I would say 6-6 finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Be
That's
optimistic.
fair. Yeah.
For the first time for me.
I was gonna say, week after week here on Twigs OT, you are just not up on.
Gotta be
the
cautious.
Gators.
Gotta be cautious.
I understand. But great coverage. Great work as well on Sunday. Be sure to check out her work as well as the rest of the Gators football beat team's work. Nick Abreu, who you heard from earlier, also Hunter DeLauder, who you heard on Twigs earlier today with Jeremy St. Louis. They'll be covering the team all season long, no matter how it finishes. So be sure to check it out on WRUF.com. Tori, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm Abigail Justice, and I'm here with
Megan.
Sophia,
Matt Herbst.
Caleb.
and we're playing Two Truths and a Lie. Gators football last SEC championship victory was in 2016. Former head coach Urban Meyer coached the Gators to 2 national championships. After head coach Billy Napier was fired earlier this week, Billy Gonzalez was named interim head coach.
He was fired is all I'm saying.
Which one's the lie?
I'd say the third one. First is a lie. All of them are true.
The first one? Same. It is the first one.
Why are we cooking?
Back here on Twigs Overtime, and right now we're joined by our Gator Soccer beat reporters, Hunter Zabarski, Macy Meese. Thank you so much for joining us here on Twigs Overtime. There's a lot to talk about, exciting time of the season for Gator Soccer, and of course we have the best beat reporters with us joining us on Twigs OT. We're going to kick it off looking at Sunday's game, of course, when they look at that Ole Miss draw. Starting with you, Hunter. Looking at that game, what could the team have done better to pull out a win last Sunday?
Man, I mean, the conditions definitely didn't help them. I think it was raining the entire game, just downpouring. I think they had chances, and you got to finish those chances. I mean, you're looking at an Ole Miss team that came into that one without an SEC win, and all you had to do was win to get in. And, you know, I think the team, Katie, Kai, Sky Barnes at the end, they had their chances, I think, with 30 seconds left. Sky Barnes' header, great save by Ole Miss's goalie. Credit to her. But yeah, if you have chances, you got to put them away. And I think defensively they played great. So if you know you only needed the one goal, you got to play a little better attacking wise.
Yeah, and I will say with that attacking, it's hard in those crazy slippery conditions. Like, the field was wet, soaked. Like, I even remember walking on the sidelines. My shoes were drenched immediately stepping into that grass. So I can only imagine how those players felt. And I say, too, because I kind of think about an injury perspective. Like, slipping is very easy. You know, getting injured might be a little bit easier in those wet conditions, like, especially before SEC play. Yes, they may not have been attacking as well as they normally do, but maybe that definitely was because of the conditions. And if you're outweighing potentially getting injured versus, attacking to your fullest abilities, there is a wager there. I just thought that was something cool to consider.
I think real quick about that one is Coach did switch formations after halftime, and then talking to her after the game about that decision, she kind of said, she wasn't really happy with where they played. They kind of looked a little slow, a little sluggish, probably, as Macy says, because of the conditions. I think they should have done a better job of not – you're going against Ole Miss and you're kind of passing the ball around, but in those conditions it's hard. You kind of have to play a little kickball and just boot that thing up and pray for the best at times.
I'm actually surprised that they even got a game in. I mean, when you looked outside and just the torrential downpour, I was surprised that game even went on. You talk about, again, you guys covering that game. I don't know. Maybe it was the campus morning Billy Napier and his firing in terms of the skies opening up. But when you guys look at, sort of what's next, one game left on the season, in this regular season, LSU Sunday, what does Florida need to do to get that win?
Yeah, and I watched some tape on LSU to kind of see what they were all about. And I think for Florida, the space is going to be from the defensive line to the midfield. They leave some space in the center. LSU's back line tends to drop off towards their goal. And there are players on this team, Sophia Sindelar comes to mind, who are able to, from 30 yards out, let it fly. Tennessee scored a goal like that against them in one of the games I watched. So I think that's the space that Florida needs to attack. They might not be able to get within 5-6 yards of goal, but kind of accepting that, hey, if we're 18 yards out, let's not be afraid to shoot. And then definitely out wide. LSU tends to play a very tight, packed game, so out wide there's areas in those 1v1 situations, Katie and Kai definitely need to get at those defenders.
Macy, how about you? Your keys to the game for Sunday.
I think it's going to be a very big defensive game. Like, you're not playing on your home pitch. It's going to be hard, especially coming off what you expected to be definitely a bigger win against Ole Miss. I mean, a 0-0 draw is hard, especially with, like we said, those conditions. But I know that the expectation going into that game was a different outcome. So especially going into the playoffs, I think that they're looking to secure a win with a good margin, definitely, showing their place and where they should be come the postseason. And these Gators have a lot to bring to the table, and I think it's a matter of playing defensively, being aggressive, attacking to their fullest ability, and not being scared to do so in an away pitch.
We were talking about the postseason. Let's talk about the postseason picture. It's been a 4-year drought for this Gator soccer program. Break it down for us. What needs to happen Sunday in the last game of the season for the Gators to make a postseason berth?
Well, I know that if they draw, even just 1 point will still guarantee them a spot. But with a win, I know things could definitely be a little different. Hunter, if you wanted to touch on that.
Yeah, I think it's funny because if they would have, if Florida would have beaten Ole Miss, is a different conversation. I think we talk more about, hey, now you've confirmed you're in. Let's talk more about positioning. What would a win in this game? How far up can you go? With 1 game left now, I'm just like, for the team's perspective, is probably like, let's just get in. Let's not worry about where we are. That's for a different day. That's for next week. Let's just get in. And I think against, this LSU team, it's not going to be easy. And I hate comparing games, but LSU did beat Ole Miss 4-1. I know the conditions were a little different. This is an LSU team that's ranked number 30 in the country. And then so I think for Florida, if they fail to draw or win, there's teams that are on the hunt. Auburn, they're playing Missouri. If they win, Texas A&M, they play Kentucky. If both of those teams win and Florida loses, there's actually a scenario where they don't get in at all. So I think from their perspective, it's, someone always said to me, if you want something done right, sometimes you got to do it yourself. I think that's what Florida's key is to just do it themselves. Don't worry about Kentucky or, Texas A&M or the Auburn games, and just do it yourself, get it done.
All right, let's put a bow on this segment, guys. Let's call it. Do the Gators get into the postseason? Macy, you said you think they can get in. Do you truly are going to double down on that prediction for Sunday? Do the Gators get into the postseason? We'll start with you, Macy.
I think they can do it. I think they'll get into the postseason. I definitely think that there's some aggression with this team. Emotion is a very big thing for them, and you can definitely see that both in the game and in post-game interviews. And I think that there is some frustration with the turnout this past game, despite still getting a draw. They definitely had different expectations going into it, and I think that emotion will show in an away pitch on Sunday. So I think that they will definitely be able to pull off at least a draw.
Hunter, make the call.
Yeah, I agree with Macy. I think they get in with the draw, and I think it's one of those situations where it's not going to be an easy game away from home. You're playing a team LSU that's also battling for positioning in their own right. But I think this young team, it's a question of how bad do you want it, right? And Texas A&M, if they lost their game last week, Florida would have gone in, but they played the number 8 team in the country and got a tie. There are a lot of teams in the SEC that know what it takes to make it, and they know with 1 game left, they know what they have to do. So is Florida one of those teams? Could be. I think they draw, get in.
We'll see, but of course, you will have coverage from our Gators soccer beat team. Of course, that was Hunter Zabarski, Macy Meese here on Twigs Overtime. Also, be sure to check out coverage from David Lopez as well. He has a story on WRUF.com breaking down the postseason scenarios and what could happen for this Gators soccer team. So be sure to check out all their coverage. Of course, they will have game stories on Sunday as well. And, of course, if they do make the postseason, coverage leading up to the following Sunday's game, their first postseason game in 4 years. Wow, guys. I want to thank you both for joining us here on Twigs OT. Hunter, Macy, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Abigail Justice, and I'm here with
Alex.
Davis Abdoni.
and we're playing Two Truths and a Lie Gator Sports Edition. Florida Volleyball has never won a national championship. Former head coach Mary Wise holds the record for most career victories among women Division I coaches in NCAA history. Gators Volleyball won the SEC championship last season.
We won the SEC championship.
I'm going to go with the first option again.
The second one's a
Oh,
lie.
okay.
All right, we're back here on Twigs Overtime, and right now we're joined by the best Gators volleyball beat reporters here in the area, Charlie Jones as well as Jelianis Ramos, here to talk Gators volleyball, coming off a big win last night against Oklahoma. As it stands right now, Gators volleyball is 11-7. Charlie, Jelianis, you're at that game. Who wants to kick it off? How was that win last night against Oklahoma? Big time win.
I am more than happy to start because, wow, what a win it was for Ryan Tice's squad on blackout night in the O-Dome. Almost 2,000 fans showed out adorned in black for their team, and it mattered. Gators win 3-1, a massive, massive win over a strong team who has received votes in the AVCA poll. They keep on charging forward in SEC and moving up the standings.
All right, Jellianis, your thoughts on last night's win?
Yeah, I thought it was electric. I thought the Gator fans, they came out and they were cheering on for the orange and blue, and the Gators did not let down. I thought they won a second set finally, which I thought was huge. I got the chance to talk to Anaya Matkin after the match, and she's always like, we love playing in the Odom, right? Having the energy of the fans and being able to get a win, especially an SEC win against a team, like Charlie said, who has received AVCA, votes. And so I think it was huge, and I think right now they're 6-3 in the SEC, heading into 3 games coming up on the road, so I think it's going to be huge.
Yeah, not to be a Debbie Downer here, though, but they did lose Sunday. So you talk about them rallying, coming back with the win. Talk about that game against number 3 Kentucky, 3-2 loss on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they came out strong, right? I think they, if I'm not mistaken, did they win or lose the first set against Kentucky?
Lost the first set, won the next 2, which was a big point. Coming back from adversity, winning that set 2. That's something that Ryan Tice has focused on going in SEC play, making sure they can get that set 2 and move forward from there. If it's 1-1 after 2 sets, we're starting at 0-0. It's a whole new match. From there, they won set 3, but then faltered in set 4 and 5.
Yeah, so I think it's all about how to stay consistent, right? How to keep the momentum going. You're up 2-1, and then you're heading into that 4th set with the lead. You got to capitalize. You got to be able to finish off strong. You got to be able to keep that offensive momentum going. And they fell short, but I thought it was a good show out. I thought they showed their potential, and I think we haven't reached our ceiling yet. I think there's a lot that we can improve on, especially heading into this last stretch of the regular season. So I think we're in a really good spot right now heading into the last couple games.
Yeah, as it stands right now, you look at the schedule, a 3-game road trip coming up. They'll be in Arkansas, Georgia, then face South Carolina and Columbia. So they'll be away from home. How do they keep this momentum going after the win against the Sooners?
Yeah, I think they have to rely on each other. They have to stick together, and they got to find ways to win, right? I think that when you're on the road, that, you guys have each other. That's all they have. They have each other, and they're a young team. So I think they're going to find ways to do it. They do have some leadership in Alexis Stuckey and Emily Cannon. So I think it's just relying on those leaders and then relying on each other, and I think they'll be fine.
Wrapping up, guys. Of course, it's been since 1991 since this team has not been ranked in the AVCA poll. Do you think next week is the week that we see the team return to the top 25? Charlie, staying with you.
Well, I think that they are just as close as ever to get back into that poll, right? We mentioned week after week how unusual this territory is for the Gators. They're a prestigious program in the sport of volleyball. I think now, right, you've strung together a bunch of wins. You're 4-1 in your last 5, and a win against a strong Oklahoma team. If you can pair that with a win at Arkansas this weekend, I don't see how the Gators could stay unranked. They were only 36 votes off the 25 slot. With UCLA in that slot, they're 11-6. So I really think you could leapfrog them, go into that 25 spot, maybe even higher now as you're collecting these SEC wins, especially on the road.
Jellianis, your thoughts.
Yeah.
Will we see the Gators return to the top 25 next week?
We will if they get a sweep against Arkansas. I think, Arkansas has been struggling. I believe they have a 5-15 record. And not to say that they do have talent. So obviously anything can happen. However, being on the road as a team that you're just coming off a win against Oklahoma, you have to go on the road and you have to show how dominant you can be. You have to show your potential. So I think if they get a sweep against Arkansas.
All right, we will definitely wait to see. Be sure to check out Charlie Jones and Jellianis Ramos, their work on WRUF.com. Of course, they're going to have coverage on this 3-game road trip, as well as also looking at some feature stories as well coming up. Charlie, you want to talk about your story that you're working on?
Yeah, I am excited to tell the story of someone who is a little bit more of an unsung hero of this Gators team in Taylor Parks. She has at times been an incredible serve specialist, coming in, resetting that service rotation, but I am very interested to find out a little bit about her family's athletic history, right? Her father was a pitcher for the Yankees, and about 6 athletes in her family have rose to the collegiate or professional level. I really want to find out more about, what's it mean to be a Gator? What's it mean to continue that athletic tradition? And what's her life as a student athlete, right? We talk about student, we talk about athlete, breaking down both parts of it, and what's it mean to be a Gator.
Can't wait to read that one. I want to thank you, Charlie, and also you, Jellianis, for joining us here on Twigs Overtime.
Florida soccer won their first national championship in their 4th season. The Gators joined the SEC in women's soccer in 2021. Soccer games can end in a tie.
The first one? Yeah, the first one. Okay, is it the second one?
I don't know the rules of soccer, but I feel like the soccer game shouldn't end in a tie. So yes, that's a lie. I guess the second one. Oh my God. I don't watch soccer. I'm just gonna say number 2 or something.
It is number 2.
We're joined by Jake Hoffman as well as Morgan Vasquez. They're back again to talk and break down the AP Top 25 poll. Jake, starting off with you. Miami drops. Big drop after last Friday's upset loss.
A big drop from Miami. Usually you don't expect on a Friday night to see something like that, but it was Friday night's game, Miami at home in Hard Rock Stadium against Louisville. A shocking 24-21 loss where Carson Beck threw 4 interceptions, a crucial one down the stretch. And now Miami's got 1 loss. They don't have any ranked opponents left on their schedule, so this might be a hard playoff path for them.
How about LSU? LSU, another loss for them. That drops them down in this week's poll.
LSU, 2 losses now. They don't have much margin for error. They dropped 10 spots from number 10 to number 20. And with that win, they jumped up 7 spots from number 17 to number 10, the highest ranking they've been in over 60 years. So the Commodores are looking good, and their football program's definitely bouncing back.
Those Bulldogs, they find a way in Georgia. They are now in the top 5. What do you think about their chances of staying there?
I mean, Georgia, just a great performance against Ole Miss. I mean, Lane Kiffin and those guys went into Athens, and they couldn't get it done. They put up 35 points, but like I said last week, Gunner's got grit. Gunner Stockton found a way, and he got the job done in a great 8-point win.
Right ahead of Georgia, you have Alabama. Of course, Alabama beat Georgia earlier in the season. They moved up to number 4 after a big-time win, a convincing win against Tennessee.
The Crimson Tide are the hottest team in the country. 4 straight wins against ranked opponents. They're getting it done at home. They're getting it done on the road. They had the Volunteers at home, and I mean, Ty Simpson, the Heisman favorite, came in and just got the job done, putting up 40+ in what was a blowout win.
All right, you look at the top 3, Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M. Do you think it stays that way for the rest of the season?
I don't. I mean, Ohio State is number 1. If they win out, which it's looking like they could, they'll stay in that spot. Indiana having the best season in their program's history. Coach Signetti just got an 8-year contract extension. Mendoza is looking like a Heisman favorite. His resurgence has been incredible to see. But Texas A&M at 3, they barely snuck out a win last week against Arkansas, and I think they may lose this weekend. So if that ends up happening, they definitely won't be in the top 3 going forward.
Guys, let's switch gears here now. Game predictions for this week. Starting off, number 8, Ole Miss at number 13, Oklahoma. Big playoff implications in this one, Morgan. Your prediction?
I mean, it's huge. I bet for Ole Miss last week and was a little bit let down, but I'm sticking with my chops. I'm going to go with Lane Kiffin and Trinidad Bliss again.
All right.
Yeah.
Jake, how about you? Your pick.
Once again this week, I'm going to fade Ole Miss. Oklahoma 2 weeks ago had a really bad loss against Texas. Mateer came back from missing 3 weeks after hand surgery. Didn't look great. Statistically, he didn't have a great game last week either against South Carolina, but that was a dominant performance overall from Oklahoma. Ole Miss does have the second most passing yards in the SEC, but overall defense, passing, and rushing, Oklahoma ranks number 1 in the conference. I think their defense, especially with that home crowd, is going to get a lot of fuel, have a lot of energy, and I think this game is going to be really gritty. I think it's going to be low scoring, but I think Oklahoma is going to come out on top.
All right, Jake going with the Sooners. Moving forward, number 15, Missouri at number 10, Vanderbilt, and College Game Day will be in Nashville. Jake, who's your pick?
I'm going to take Vanderbilt at home. Last week, they surprised me. I wasn't big into Pavia at quarterback, but after watching his performance, I think anyone who's seen him play, how could you not like? He's high energy. He talks his trash. He backs it up. And Missouri does have a great rushing attack. They have Ahmad Harvey and Jamal Roberts. And Prabula also runs, so they have a three-headed monster of guys that can run in that backfield. But I think Vanderbilt's out this one. I think their offense has too much firepower.
Morgan, who's your pick between Missouri and Vanderbilt?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Jake on this one. Vanderbilt has the highest rush yards per attempt at about 6.3 in FBS, and Diego Pavia's hot. They're looking good. They're no longer the doormat of the SEC this season.
All right, another top 25 matchup. Number 3, Texas A&M. Number 20, LSU. Who's your pick?
I love to bet against LSU. I think Garrett Nussmeier is so inconsistent, and I love to bet against Brian Kelley. So I am going to go with Texas A&M. I do think it'll come down to about a field goal. It's going to be a really, really tight game.
Jake, your pick.
I'm going to have to go with LSU. Texas A&M last week, they put up 44 points, but that defense did not look good, allowing 41 against Arkansas. I mean, coming off of a performance like that, the LSU offense hasn't been too consistent, but Brian Kelley's job is on the line. The Tigers' season is on the line. There's way more implications for the Tigers than A&M. While a loss for A&M would cause them to drop, they'd still be in a great position, still having no losses on the season. And if Brian Kelley loses this game, it could be his last season as the LSU head coach. His job is on the line. The Tigers are at home. I think they're going to pull this one out.
I want to thank you, Morgan, as well as you, Jake, for joining us here on Twigs Overtime. Be sure to check out all their coverage on WRUF.com. As we continue the season, we will see how things shape up. College football playoff is coming up soon, guys. We're gonna have to
right around the corners, a few weeks away.
Absolutely. Thanks again for joining us.
3 for 4. How we feeling?
Honestly, that's like way better than I thought I would do. I probably did not know 75% of that.
2 for 4. How we feeling?
Really great.
Awesome.
All right, that's not bad. I'll take a 50.
Oh man, the volleyball. I'm a huge volleyball fan, so like that one stumped me.
Great, not great. You know, I got to catch up on my soccer and volleyball.
Good job. Good job, Gators. Okay, Gators.
We're back here on Twigs Overtime, and right now we're joined by our WRUF SEC beat reporters, Jordan Castagliola and Wade Ziegler are joining us right now, and we have some big games to talk about this weekend, fellas. Starting off with Ole Miss and Oklahoma. Wade, what's at stake here this weekend?
Well, this is a massive game when it comes to the fate of the SEC and the fate of the playoffs this year. This is a matchup of 2 top 15 teams and 2 teams that sit at 6-1 overall. So both teams, if they get this win, it would be massive to boost their resume as we head into playoff season.
So you talk about how both teams and how it would be big for them to win. What are the keys to victory for both teams?
Well, Ole Miss, the lane train, as they say here in Gainesville, after the firing of Coach Napier, has been very good for Ole Miss. They've been an offensive-dominated team under Lane Kiffin and offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss Jr. They're among the best offenses in the SEC and in the country. But they're going up against an Oklahoma defense that is a standout in the SEC this year. In all defensive stats, yards per game, passing yards per game, rushing yards per game, scoring per game, they'd lead the SEC. So for Oklahoma, they're going to want a dirty game that is low scoring. They want as little points on the board as possible. Whereas Ole Miss, they're going to need to rely on quarterback Trinidad Chambliss and Kawan Lacey in that running game to be able to break through where no SEC team has broken through so far this year.
All right, we'll see if that lane train hits Gainesville their way. Jordan, switching over to you, another big Texas A&M and LSU. Is this a must-win for LSU and Brian Kelley?
It is absolutely a must-win for LSU and Brian Kelley. Excuse me. LSU is 5-2. This is the 4th year of the Brian Kelley era. They got 10 wins, 9 wins. This is a must-deliver year for Brian Kelley, and this is a game that they must win because three losses essentially eliminates you from the playoffs at this point. And they also have Alabama and Oklahoma left remaining on the schedule. So a loss here essentially eliminates you from the playoffs.
Yeah. Do you think they have enough to get it done?
I do think they have enough to get it done. They're very talented. Let me bring up this crazy stat. The top 9 teams in the SEC have 2 home losses combined. and they're both losses to Alabama. So you like the home crowd at LSU. It's an LSU night game in Death Valley, but you gotta prove that you have something in the rush game. They're second to last in rush yards in the SEC. You gotta put something on the ground so that you can really open up that pass game, or else Texas A&M is just going to defend the pass.
Definitely will have my eyes on that one. Texas A&M, LSU. Switching gears here, Mizzou versus Vandy. We'll keep the ball there with you, Jordan. How much does Drinkwitz and Missouri need to win this game?
Well, it's definitely a big game. They still have A&M and Oklahoma remaining. They only have one loss, and it's to Alabama. So I think they can lose this, still win out, and make the playoffs. But I feel like the winner of this game establishes itself as the real underdog to root for in the SEC. They're both in very similar positions. They're offensively in stats. They are 4th and 6th in yards per game, 8th and 9th in pass per game, 1st and 3rd in rush yards per game, and 3rd and 2nd in points per game. So I think Missouri needs to win this game to take that seat from Vanderbilt.
Wait. Can Missouri finally beat a playoff team, and how?
Yeah, I mean, that's been the big question under Eli Drinkwitz, is that they've done a good job of cleaning house against those lower-level teams. But when they play those playoff teams, they've always come up short. It's crazy how similar Vanderbilt and Missouri are built, and both live and die by the run game. Missouri's Ahmad Hardy has the most yards in SEC and the 3rd most yards in the country today. And Vanderbilt's rushing defense is about mid-pack in the SEC this season. Whereas Vanderbilt, they're 2nd in the SEC in rush yards per game. Missouri's rush defense a little bit better. They're top 4 in the SEC this season. But whoever controls the ground game in this one is going to have the massive advantage.
Wade, Jordan, I want to thank you so much for coming on TWIGS OT. Be sure to check out all their coverage on WRUF.com. Of course, they will have coverage leading up to this weekend's games, as well as recaps for next week. Wade, Jordan, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back here on TWIGS Overtime, and right now we're joined by our great NFL beat reporters, of course, Riley Orvitz, as well as Dalton Salines. They join us every week here on TWIGS Overtime. Be sure to check out all their work on WRUF.com. They have a fun competition going on, and before we kick things off on this segment, I think we need an update. Riley, I don't know if you want to give us the update, but I'll start with Dalton in terms of the head-to-head records as it stands right now.
Thank you so much for asking. Last week, I was down 2 games after going 2-1 this week, and Riley went 1-2. I have cut the lead to just 1 game, which means I am all the way back in. There's still plenty of time for me to make up this last game. I am more confident than ever.
Riley doesn't look too happy over there.
We can calm down. I'm still a game up. And this week there's only 2 games, and we have the same picks, so we can calm down. It'll be a Week 10 competition.
Of course. Riley, cool and collected. She's not worried, Dalton. We'll kick it off with you, Dalton, on this segment. Of course, you have the weekly power rankings. The Bucks, big loss. Monday Night Football primetime, 24-9 against the Lions. How did the Bucks losing affect their place in the power rankings?
Yeah, so they dropped out of the top spot, got replaced actually by the Lions, who beat them. They fell down 5 spots to the number 6 spot. Still a safe spot to be, but for me, I need to see them get back healthy before I can move them back up. Mike Evans, broken collarbone out. It's expected 8 weeks. Still no Chris Godwin or Bucky Irving. Once they get healthy, we'll be able to see what this team really is.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Riley, last week you said that Mike McDaniel will be fired if the Dolphins lost. They fall to the Browns, and Mike McDaniel is still employed. What's next for Miami?
I mean, unfortunately, Stephen Ross doesn't want to listen to me. But he's made it abundantly clear that McDaniel's still his guy. He said in multiple press conferences when asked that he's not making a change. I mean, after starting 1-6 and truly being embarrassed in Cleveland, you would think that he would want to make a change. But it looks like Ross thinks McDaniel's going to stick around and maybe turn the season around. or he'll just have a top 5 pick in this year's draft and maybe take Indiana quarterback and Miami native Fernando Mendoza at quarterback.
Okay, we'll see.
Yep.
But I can't believe McDaniel still has a job. I was with you on that prediction, but hey, we'll see how long he lasts. All right, best time of this segment. We're going to go our picks and hot takes. We mentioned it earlier. You guys have the same picks for this week. Riley, we'll keep it with you because you're still in the lead. So, Riley, you do the honors.
I am at 13-8 on the season, better than Dalton's 12-9.
I love it.
So, first of all, I have the Falcons topping the Dolphins 28-21, and then the Bucks 31, Saints 17.
How about your scores, Dalton?
Yeah, I have the Falcons 35-17, and the Buccaneers beating the Saints 28-17.
All right, hot takes time. What's your hot take for this week?
I'm going to keep it in that Bucks game. Like I said, no Bucky Irving again. A lot of the playmakers out. Why not go to Sean Tucker, the running back, technically the backup still? I have him scoring a touchdown. Saints defense hasn't been particularly strong. I think that the Bucks can get out in the lead a little bit, have to run the football. Sean Tucker scores a touchdown. How about this? It's going to be from over 20 yards as well. A big play from Sean Tucker for a big touchdown.
That's hot takes right there. Riley, what's your hot take?
Sticking with Devon Achane, I'm going to go with that he and Emeka Egbuka both scored twice in their respective games.
All right. I love it. Of course. That was Dalton and Riley here on Twigs Overtime. Be sure to check out all their coverage. They're not only covering the games, but also fantasy as well to get you guys set and ready to go for this weekend. Riley and Dalton, thank you. Back here on Twigs Overtime, and we are now joined by our Gators men's basketball beat reporter, Jesse Bratman. Jesse's been working hard in the offseason, of course, getting ready for the tip-off of the season here. Right around the corner, Jesse. We're almost there.
Almost there.
2
more Mondays.
But be sure to check out all his coverage on WRUF.com. He's had 2 great articles this week. We'll get into them here on this segment. Of course, a story on A.J. Brown and Isaiah Brown, and then, of course, looking at that November 3rd opponent against Arizona. So let's kick it off, Jesse. We had some availability earlier this week with the Brown brothers, A.J. Brown and Isaiah Brown, and this is a first in quite some time. Yes. Tell us more about it.
My biggest takeaway after talking to the Brown brothers was just how deep this Florida roster is. A.J. Brown's a guy who came a senior, 3 years at Ohio. I know it's a mid-major, but still averaged 13 points a game in his junior season. 41% from 3, just a classic 3-and-D type of guy that pretty much any Power 5 conference wants to have on its roster. And he's fighting for minutes on this Florida team. That was just my biggest takeaway. I was like, wow, A.J. Brown's a guy that could start on probably 100 college basketball rosters right now. And he went to Florida fully knowing how deep this roster really is and believing in the cause that they can win a championship. And Isaiah Brown, too, he was a 4-star freshman coming out of high school. Won 2 state championships with his brother AJ in Orlando, and another guy that on a very vast majority of college basketball teams could probably start, if not be 6th, 7th man off the bench. So just the Florida depth really shown through the media availability yesterday. Obviously, they were talking about playing basketball in the driveway, playing one-on-one, and just that sheer amount of competitiveness that I think there's a direct correlation to, team camaraderie and team performance. Like last year, those 3 senior leaders were so close. They did everything together, and it really showed that chemistry on and off the court. I think now that you're bringing a pair of brothers, the first pair of brothers that Florida has seen since 1989, which is quite shocking. I think that camaraderie and the fact that they're competing for the same role. Thomas Houck is going to be the starting small forward, obviously, but he's probably going to play a majority of his minutes at the 4. So when we need that 3, even with Xavier Lee and Boogie, they're not going to be able to play 40 minutes. We're going to need a backup guard. Obviously, that could be Alex Lloyd or Urban Klabzar, but if Isaiah Brown or A.J. Brown wants to ball out and play the 2, they're very much capable. So there's a lot of room for minutes for these 2 with the way that they've been playing as so far. So I think it's very interesting to see which Brown brother actually will come out on top. My feeling is that it's going to be A.J. just because he has 3 years of college basketball experience. Isaiah only averaged 4 minutes a game and 19 minutes last year, or 19 games, sorry, and a lot of that was garbage time just because we were blowing a lot of teams out. So I think just AJ's experience, obviously two very different players as well. AJ's more of your typical 3-and-D, not really a slasher or an assist guy. Just put him in the corner. He's going to play defense. He's going to knock down his threes. Isaiah more of a high flyer type of player who's going to want to drive to the rim. His jump shot's kind of iffy. So I just think on this team, AJ's going to have the upper hand, but I'm really interested to see this competition between the two Brown brothers.
Now, coming up here on after Twigs Overtime, Todd Golden, men's basketball coach, of course, he's going to be joining Alex Condon on Gator Talk. What do you hope to hear from not only Golden, but also Condon as well here on Gator Talk coming up in a few minutes?
There's a lot of pressure on Alex Condon. He is in the AP All-American team for the first time since Joakim Noah. So, one of the all-time great Florida centers, and now you're being compared to him. That's a lot of pressure. And I don't even think Alex Condon is the best player on this team. I think Thomas Houck is the best player on this team. So, I mean, no disrespect to Kondo. He's one of the best forwards in the nation. Obviously, AP sees that, but there's a lot of pressure riding on his back. I honestly don't even think he expected to get that nod.
Yeah.
Obviously, first-team SEC is a lot different than first-team All-American.
Right.
So I'm sure that will be touched upon. Whether
so you're hoping to see how he's going to respond to the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. As Ruben said, pressure is a privilege, but
absolutely
there is a lot on those shoulders.
Yeah.
I know there were some social media reactions saying that Condon isn't even the best player on his team. How is he the best player, one of the best players in the nation?
Yeah.
So I think that will get touched upon on Gator Talk, just how are you going to deal with being that first-team All-American.
Absolutely.
Another thing I would love to hear Golden talk about is just how game-ready is this team. Obviously, been practicing a lot, but you can only do so much scrimmaging 5-on-5, orange versus blue, as opposed to playing against number 17 Illinois. So I would just very curious. Todd, obviously an amazing basketball mind, has a really good sense of how game-ready physically, mentally this team will be. Obviously, come November 3rd, we will see, but I think Todd has a very good insight as of right now on kind of just the morale of the squad. A lot of new faces, obviously, with a new backcourt and A.J. Brown coming into the mix. So also kind of want to hear just how the team chemistry and camaraderie has been. When you lose your three leaders, that's obviously going to hurt.
Yeah.
I know that the front court of Tommy, Micah, Ruben, and Alex are stepping up as those new core leaders. How are they doing? Or do they have the respect that Walt, Will, and Elijah had last year? There's a lot of questions with this team. It's an entirely new team. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we know who's always game ready, Jesse Bratman, of course, our WRUF Gators men's basketball beat reporter. We want to thank you so much for joining us here on Twigs Overtime. And coming up next, Gator Talk with, of course, Gators men's basketball coach Todd Golden and starting forward Alex Condon. You just heard it all from Jesse. You'll hear from both of them right here on WRUF. Be sure to stick around on the stream right here on YouTube. You can also check it out on WRUF. The radio station as well. So thank you all for joining us here on this week's version of Twigs Overtime. We'll be back again next week ahead of Gator Talk. We'll be sitting down with the new Gators football coach, interim coach, I should say, Billy Gonzalez. Will be leading into his show next week on Twigs Overtime. We'll see you next week.
Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, WD51CG Gainesville, WRUF FM, HD2, and the WRUF radio app. The following is a Learfield presentation of the Gator Sports Network. Live from Miller's Ale House in Celebration Point, this is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes, building throughout Florida, official home builder of the Gators. Gator Talk is also brought to you by UF Health. At UF Health, we believe human progress has no finish line. Visit humanprogress.ufhealth.org to learn more. Meldon Law, official injury and accident law firm sponsor of the Florida Gators. We won't back down. Hellman's Real Mayonnaise. Do dip with Hellman's and do no wrong. And by Wells Fargo, official retail bank of the Florida Gators. Now let's go to Miller's Ale House at Celebration Point in Gainesville. Here's the voice of the Gators, Sean Kelley.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gator Talk tonight. We're live again at Miller's Ale House. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody good? What a great crowd we have tonight. Why not? We are looking forward to the start of a new season. There are many new seasons about to start, but one in particular, the Title Defender Tour will get underway here shortly for the national champion Florida Gators men's basketball team. And with that tonight, we are talking Gators basketball during this football bye week. Head coach Todd Golden here with us for the first half hour. Preseason first-team All-American Alex Condon for the second half hour tonight. So we've got a great hour here planned for everyone who is already decked out, Coach. Looking like a game in here.
Tonight.
Yeah, great crew tonight.
Great turnout.
How are you, my friend?
I'm great, man. I'm great. I'm excited. A little fatigued, but ready to get the season started for sure.
Fatigue from what, Coach?
It's been a long and good preseason. We're a little tired of banging on each other. We had a little closed-door scrimmage last week. We have another one this Saturday, but we're excited for November 3rd.
And the off-season was not very normal either now, was it?
No, it was very busy, but all good things, you know.
What did you learn along the way from San Antonio until now?
Oh man! When you win the national championship, you get to do a lot of cool things, like go to the White House, New York Athletic Club event, and it obviously has just helped us continue to raise the level of our program in every way, whether it's recruiting. We did bringing in a couple of these guys from the transfer portal, bringing in some really good freshmen to pair with the guys that we were able to bring back. I'm excited, man. I think we have a chance to have another good year.
I mean, you were one of the last people to ever see the East Wing of the White House. It's pretty amazing.
That's right.
How was the visit, Coach? I mean, was there a surreal sense to it? Did you realize in the moment what was actually happening?
Yeah, it was an incredible day. Kat Kamek, actually, who's a rep from down here, showed us around the Capitol in the morning, and then in the afternoon, obviously got to go over to the White House and toured around there a little bit, got to spend a little bit of time with President Trump one-on-one before we were honored as a team, which is amazing. And, I think once he realized how grateful we were to be there and how much the guys were enjoying it, he invited us to go down to the Oval Office and took individual pictures with each player and staff member in our program. And it was just a really awesome day and something that I think everybody in our program will never forget.
Coach, in our years together, we always get to this time of year, and I'll ask you, what did you learn from a year ago? How did you apply that to what you want to do this year? I don't know. I've never had the chance to ask somebody who won the whole darn thing to say, well, Coach, what do you want to prove on from last year? And you won the whole thing. So how do you do that?
Yeah, you know what? It's been a big talking point in our office and with our staff, just trying to kind of how we want to approach the season. We don't want to spend a lot of time talking about repeating. We have a new group, but at the same time, we obviously returned some pretty impactful players that played a huge role in our success. So, in a macro sense, we want our returners, specifically our front court players, Ruben, Micah, Tommy, Kondo, to be the leaders of this team, and with Boogie and Xavier coming in, and Alex Lloyd, CJ Ingram, the Brown brothers, Mikic, Alex Kovachev, bring those guys who didn't do it last year along with them. And, I think those guys have done a great job understanding that they're joining a national championship level program, and the returners have done a good job leading them.
No doubt. Depending on what poll you look at right now, the Gators are the preseason number 3 team in the country. I normally don't do a whole lot with a preseason ranking, but frankly, I'm a little petty right now, in a petty mood. I just feel like if you're the defending national champ, you should be the preseason number 1. Am I being a little ridiculous about that, Coach?
I'd say Listen, I wouldn't have been upset if we were preseason number one. I think we were in that conversation for sure. Whether it's Purdue, Houston, or us, I think those are kind of the three main groups that were thought of that way. But listen, last year we were, I think, 21st or 22nd preseason. It worked out pretty well for us, so we'll see what we can do from the third spot.
It did work out pretty good. Coach, you went into that. I mean, you weren't under the radar per se. You were preseason ranked. You were predicted middle of the pack in the SEC, and then you guys go after it, and the chase is on, right? And this time around, they're chasing you.
Correct.
Share with me that mindset or that position.
Yeah, honestly, we were ranked preseason, but I still think, we were able to really kind of dive in with the underdog mentality for majority of the year. And whether it was truly that way or we just kind of created that for our program to kind of keep the chip on our shoulder, I don't think it was really until kind of the middle of SEC play last year, probably going to Auburn and winning that game comfortably when they were number one in the country, where we started getting the respect that we felt we deserved, and really not until we won the SEC tournament to where nationally people really started thinking of us as a national title contender. But to your point, like this year, it's completely different. We were the hunters last year. We are the hunted this year. There's no doubt about that. And there's a lot of pressure, that comes with that target on your back. But we talk a lot about it in our program, that having, a top 5 ranking next to your name, that pressure is a privilege, and we'd much rather be in that spot.
Do you remember, in the tournament, the feeling of when it was up against UConn, and they kind of came in with this, we're the champs until otherwise,
right,
and you took down that champ? That's a feeling now that you guys will carry with you. Is there a way to raise the belt, hold it high, but yet at the same time, don't put yourself in a position where it could actually be a crushing type thing?
Yeah, I mean, it was the UConn game I thought was huge, obviously, to keep us alive, but for our program, because that was – we played a little tight in that game. And in the SEC tournament, as you know, we played fantastic, probably about as good a basketball as we could play. We kind of ran through the tournament, and then we get to the NCAA tournament. We're playing a UConn team who had been there before. Obviously, had won it the last 2 times, had multiple players on their team who had won, the NCAA tournament. And for us, I thought that, breaking through and getting that win was huge for us. I thought we played a lot more relaxed the rest of the way. Making the Sweet 16 was kind of getting that monkey off our back, and we were able to play with some freedom. And now, again, I talk with Alex and Tommy a lot about, the target on our back. Like, we got to absorb that pressure. We can't run from it.
Mm-hmm.
If we run from it, it's not going to go well. And I think they're excited about it.
I think there's a little bit of a trap here, Coach, because like Alex Condon will be here tonight. We all know about Thomas Houck. We'll talk about the way he has developed and what he'll be asked to do this year. But Ruben's back. Mike is back. The trap is a little bit of, well, this will just be the same Gators team that went out there last year, minus obviously some guys that made their NBA debuts this week. But the trap is it's the same Gators team. The reality is it's not.
It's definitely not. Maybe perceptionally, that's the trap for us. We know we're going to be a lot different. And the great thing is last year, obviously, we were built around our backcourt, and Walt, Will, and Elijah did a fantastic job for us, and our front court players were fantastic and flew under the radar for majority of the year and didn't really get the respect and love that they deserved until late. And, as you said, all 3 of those guys were drafted, and they're playing in the NBA. Will and Walt had fantastic debuts over the past 2 nights. But this team, the front court is going to be the nucleus of this group and going to be the leaders of this group and going to have a similar approach that our backcourt did last year. And my hope is that specifically those 4, Ruben, Micah, Tommy, Kondo, will be able to absorb a lot and make Boogie and Xavier and those guys' lives easier. But we'll be built around that front court this year for sure.
All right. We're going to talk about those returners. We're going to start to look at the rosters that's made up for this new season. On the other side of a timeout, we'll try and work in some audience questions tonight. I do want to ask Coach tonight about the Coach's Challenge. That'll be new for all of us this year at the college level. We'll get Coach's thoughts on how that's going to work and what his strategy will be. Everybody's going to have to find their own way in that sense coming up. Our show tonight is brought to you by Dreamfinders Homes, official home builders of the Florida Gators. And right now, Dreamfinders Homes has unbeatable interest rates for ready-to-move-in homes from Orlando to Tampa. Dreamfinders Homes, official home builders of the Florida Gators. More with Todd Golden after this on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Is that Tacoma towing a pink mechanical bull? Sure seems like it. Well, I'll be.
Truck like you truck with a great deal during Toyota Truck Month. Get $1,000 in Conquest bonus cash for new Toyota customers on a new 2025 Toyota Tacoma. Valid through November 3rd, 2025. Offer entitles $1,000 Conquest bonus cash on certain new 2025 and 2026 Toyota pickup trucks for current non-Toyota owners of small, midsize, and large pickup trucks. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places.
Hey Gator Nation, this is Vicki Brown-Worski, Director of Gators and Pal Hurt. As the Bank of Doing and official sponsor of Florida Athletics, Wells Fargo is supporting our student athletes on and off the field with interactive financial health curriculum and empowerment resources. Wells Fargo has a game plan for the full student athlete experience from their first semester on campus through graduation. Learn more about what Wells Fargo is doing to put people and communities first by visiting wellsfargo.com/impact.
Hey, college football fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Can you imagine rising for work before the crack of dawn? Tending to hundreds of acres of land before dusk? Well, that's what happens on more than 44,000 Florida farms every day. Florida's farmers work hard to grow nutritious food for you and your family. And you can help support them by enjoying delicious fresh from Florida produce. Look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo where you shop or visit freshfromflorida.com to learn more.
Join WRUF, your home of Gator Sports, Tuesday, October 28th from 11 to 1 p.m. at the Gainesville Publix, 3315 West University Avenue. Get a close-up look at the College Football Playoff National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. Get your free photo with the trophy in store for this limited appearance.
This is Kevin Guthrie, Executive Director of the Florida Division of Emergency Management. FDEM is partnering with broadcasters statewide and rolling out Beacon, a new alerting and advisory tool to help keep Floridians safe. Download the Beacon app now by entering Beacon24/7 local alerts.
Every Gator football game all season long, right here on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Live from Miller's Ale House in Celebration Point, you're listening to Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes. Once again, here's Sean Kelley.
Visit your local Toyota dealers and take advantage of great offers on Toyota trucks during Truck Month. There's no wrong way to truck, so truck like you truck in a 2025 Tundra or Tacoma. Toyota, let's go places. Welcome back to Miller's Ale House. Great crowd here tonight, maybe our biggest of the year. We're talking about Florida Gators basketball tonight. Alex Condon a little bit later. Todd Golden is with us. Breaking news here, ticket sales significantly up for men's basketball this season. I can't imagine why. The season ticket packages are sold out. That's been now a few weeks. And 9 sellouts last year. We're going to probably bust through that as well. I would say this. There are tickets remaining for a number of these games. Just maybe you're going to have to do it a different way as opposed to buying the whole season ticket package. It can be done. Opening night's a doubleheader, by the way, on November the 6th. The women's team will play at 5, and your ticket to the men's game will get you in for free to that, and then the Gators will follow on the men's side. And then the Tennessee weekend's going to be pretty big, right? So the Friday night before, Gators versus Merrimack in basketball, that's going to be replica national championship ring giveaway night for all fans in attendance, thanks to Meldon Law. That opening night doubleheader, some limited giveaways. First 2,000 get a championship lapel pin. We're also going to give away that night a team signed ball. I'll let them determine how that gets given away, but that'd be a pretty good one to walk away with if you're in the building that night. Coach, that schedule is daunting. Mm-hmm. It starts a week from Monday. Mm-hmm. At Las Vegas against Arizona. It features a game against the former champ, UConn, at MSG, right in UConn's backyard in December. It also features in the SEC-ACC showdown a trip to Cameron Indoor Stadium to take on the Duke Blue Devils. There's a lot there, Coach, in these first 15, 16 games.
Yeah, you only named 3 of them, too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a very challenging non-conference schedule. I think, last year, we wanted to play a difficult challenge ourselves a little bit, and didn't work out the way we wanted it to with some of the teams that we scheduled just not being as good as we thought they would be. And the reality is with this year's team, we felt like we had the opportunity to schedule up a little bit. Because of our success last year, we got invited to play in some of these really awesome events, specifically the opening event in Vegas, playing on TNT National TV, and then Madison Square Garden, Jimmy V, ESPN game. And, we didn't pick the Duke game. They picked us to be the SEC's representative there. And anytime you have an opportunity to go play at Cameron Indoor, you're not going to run from that. So there's going to be some ups and downs. I imagine we're going to have to deal with some adversity getting through the non-conference slate a little bit, but I do think it will prepare us very well for SEC play.
You ever been to Cameron Indoor?
Never been there.
It's different.
I'm excited.
It's special. No, it is. It's really cool. So I already know a lot of Gators fans are making plans to join us on the road, which we will appreciate very much. Coach, let's talk about this roster a little bit. We'll go with the guys that you mentioned prior to the last break, the returning guys. Some will be asked to do something a little bit different this year. I guess that would be more specific to Thomas Houck, who is projected, and you tell me if I'm wrong, projected to be your 3 or your small forward in
Correct.
this case.
Yeah, not projected. He will be.
He will be. What goes into that position? How and why does he fit that spot?
For us, we want to do everything we can to put our best players on the floor as much as possible. And, I believe our 4 front court players are 4 of our best players. And, I just thought it would be unwise to keep Tommy at the 4 with Kondo and keep Ruben and Mike at the 5, and we're getting 80 minutes of gameplay out of those 4 players. Tommy's incredibly well-rounded. He has the ability to shoot the ball from outside. He can handle it. He can pass it. He obviously can guard multiple positions. And so we felt like moving him to the 3 to start there, and he'll play some backup 4 when Kondo is not playing. But we wanted to get him out there way more. It allows us to play Mike and Ruben more. Let's just let Kondo run wild at the 4. And my goal is to play those guys, probably around 110 minutes combined as opposed to 80. And anytime you can get those guys on the floor, you're going to give yourself a better chance to win. So Tommy's done a great job. I think, honestly, he's a natural NBA 3 the way they play in the league now. And, having him, Kondo, and Ruben, or him, Kondo, and Mike out there at the same time gives us a really formidable front court.
How different is Thomas Houck right now? What did he do in the offseason?
He's just continued to get better like he's done after every year he's been here. Yep. You saw towards the end of last year his game expanding and taking on a lot more responsibility within our team. Was playing like one of our best players down the stretch last year. And, again, he just shoots the ball really well. He's attacking the rim in transition. I really like the way we guard with him at the 3. I think we're really long and athletic, and we make it really hard for teams to finish at the rim, and it gives us good length to make it hard for teams to hit shots from the perimeter on us. And, with our size and athleticism, I think it'll make it hard for teams to match up with us.
No doubt. That was the Will Richard position a year ago. Thomas is now in that spot. Alex Kondo went through the pre-draft evaluation process, and it looks like he is doing exactly what Walter Clayton Jr. did after he went through that experience, which was take a lot of the coaching criticism evaluation to heart and improve his game. Coach, I'm watching the same guy, but I'm watching a guy that's really grown as a basketball player right now.
Yeah, he's playing some really good ball right now, and I anticipate him doing it all year. I think for Kondo, both him and Tommy came here as pretty unheralded prospects, and I think it's a big part of why they've developed so well. They've worked so hard, and they've had that chip on their shoulder to prove to everybody what they're capable of. And Kondo obviously had a great year for us last year. Dealt with some injury issues down the stretch, and did a great job as he trained for NBA teams. I received multiple calls from GMs and head coaches saying, hey, if he stayed in, he would have had a really real chance to be a late first-round pick. And for him, first of all, he loves being at Florida. I think, the idea of coming back and trying to continue to improve on what he's done here, with also opening up the opportunity of him maybe sneaking into the top half of the first round if he has the type of year that he wants to have, were some of the reasons why he decided to stay and be a Gator. And I think him and Tommy collectively, both have a chance to be high first-round picks this year.
No doubt. Then the centers, Ruben Chinyelu and Micah Handlockton. Coach, I'll let you share with us how you want to use those 2 guys and what they bring to the table this year, both now returning vets.
Yeah, first Ruben, I think, Ruben, in my humble estimation, is one of the most underrated players in college basketball. He started every game for us last year. just an incredible rim protector. Just the physicality in which he plays with in the paint. It's like having an incredible left tackle in football. Wow. Just knowing you're going to keep everybody upright. He's going to just protect your guards and make everybody's life easier. That's what Ruben does for us. He's really done a great job improving his offensive game. He's finishing a lot better around the rim, catching everything. His free throw strokes improved. And, he's just a guy that's continuing to get a little older. His athleticism and physicality is going to be on full display. I think he's weighing 270, 265, 270 right now, chiseled. And he's just a great player, man. A little bit of an unsung hero for us, but I just want to make sure everybody appreciates what he does for us.
Without a doubt. And then Micah, too.
I would argue the most unselfish human in Florida basketball history. What he did for us last year, coming off his red shirt, after we were already halfway through the year, because the team needed him to step up and play when he could have easily said, hey, guys, I'm staying back and I want to use my next 2 years to make as much money as I can or go, he's like, no, I want to play with my boys. And we don't win the national championship without him.
Without a doubt.
Being out there. And Mike is just an incredible dude. He's a starter-level player. I think all four of those guys have NBA potential. And, he's going to come off the bench for us to start, but he's going to be out there a lot and a really impactful guy for us.
No doubt. A couple of newcomers to talk about. We'll do that when we come back. A couple of audience questions, and then we'll ask about Coach's Challenge here in another segment coming up with the head coach. The head ball coach scores again. Steve Spurrier's head beer coach 1966 lager, now available at Exact Tech Arena and most retail stores in North Central Florida. Crisp and refreshing. Head beer coach 1966 lager, made by Gators for Gators. Please drink responsibly. More from Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes from Miller's Ale House after this on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Gator fans, your dream home is closer than you think. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Florida Gators and the 2025 National Builder of the Year, is offering incredible interest rate incentives across communities in Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tampa. Whether you're a first-time buyer or ready to upgrade, there's no better time than now to start owning, and we have the home for you. Start your search today at dreamfindershomes.com. Dreamfinders Homes, built for Florida, built for Gators.
My best friend Riley loved going to the beach. She was a great swimmer. Then one day, during a swim meet, she collapsed. She had cancer, Hodgkin lymphoma. She spent months getting care at UF Health. The doctors did so much, even put her in a clinical trial. I wish we could go to the beach right now, but she's working.
Out of the water.
She's on lifeguard duty. Maybe we'll head out when her shift is done.
UF Health. Human progress has no finish line.
Are you ready for some Gators football excitement, fans? Get ready to take your game day experience to the next level with Janet King Commercial Cleaning Services, the ultimate partner for a winning clean. Janet King has been a leader in the commercial cleaning industry for over 50 years, providing top-notch commercial cleaning services to businesses across Florida and beyond. Not only does Janet King provide exceptional game day cleaning, but they also offer tailored cleaning solutions for all types of businesses. For commercial cleaning services, go to janetking.com. That's JANIKING.com.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Ever wonder what it's like behind the counter at those big corporate jewelry stores? Max Woodson knows, and it wasn't pretty.
It's hard to do what's best for the customer when you're given a strict outline on the profit you need to make, the dollars you need to make, the goals you need to hit, the commissions you have to hit. It's really hard to do what's right for the customer.
That's why Max left the Wall Street-owned chains and joined International Diamond Center, a locally owned jeweler. At IDC, it's not about quotas, it's about you.
It's getting to know people, getting to talk to people, building relationships. It's something that's important to me. It's what I love the most.
At IDC, Max can focus on what matters, doing right by customers, even if it means less profit.
I have a scenario where I have a customer that I can do the right thing for, even if it maybe makes us less money at times, and we make it happen.
That freedom means better quality diamonds, fair prices, full transparency, and honest service.
We have freedom. We're allowed to be creative, do what's best, and they really support that, and it means a lot.
International Diamond Center, where you're family, not a sales target. Visit us at Celebration Point for diamonds with integrity.
This is former Gator quarterback Shane Matthews, and you're listening to the home of Gator football, WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes, continues. For more of tonight's show, here's Sean Kelley.
Book your next stay at the Hampton Inn & Suites Gainesville, conveniently located in downtown Gainesville. The Hampton Inn & Suites offers MVP accommodations and award-winning service, along with preferred access to the UF campus and UF events. Call 352-240-9300 and book your personal or business stay today. The Hampton Inn & Suites Gainesville is the place today. Again, the number 352-240-9300. Visiting with Todd Golden, Alex Condon still to come here on this basketball edition of Gator Talk. Audience questions in just a moment. New backcourt, Todd Golden.
Yep.
Boogie Fland,
Yep.
Xavier Lee, and a familiar face, Irvine Klavjar, all those guys in the mix.
Yep.
Would you mind sharing with our fans tonight what they'll see in those young men?
Yeah, Boogie has done a really good job since he got down here. I think it was really important for him to kind of take his lumps last year at Arkansas. Had some really great moments, some tough moments. For any freshman in the SEC, as I'm sure Alex remembers, there's going to be some ups and downs, and I think he learned a lot last year and has come down here with being incredibly coachable, has had a great attitude, has really let us push him in some areas where we feel like he can improve. He's an incredible on-ball defender, a really great natural point guard. I'm sure Alex can talk about that a little bit when he's up here, just his ability to share the ball and put guys in a good spot. And he just competes. He competes really well. And, I think if we can keep him healthy all year, he's going to have a really good season.
Without a doubt. And then Xavier Lee, another guy with high assist numbers coming to your program.
Yeah, he's an incredibly talented offensive player. I think that's the best way to describe Zay Lee. He's tricky with the ball. He's quick. He can get downhill. Another really, really talented passer, can make plays out of both his right and left hand. He's a really good scorer. He does a great job finishing around the rim for a guard. Has that quick release from the perimeter. And, I think the way that we've seen those guys play off each other in the backcourt has been really exciting. And Irby is, I think a lot of people will not recognize the Irby that they see this year. He was behind the 8 ball last year. It took him, it took us until the third game of the regular season to get him eligible.
Right.
And that just put him, in a really tough spot. It was hard for him to ever get in the rotation. When we dealt with some injuries in SEC play, he stepped up big time. He had a great game at Auburn, hit 3 threes. Mississippi State had another really good game, but when Elijah came back and Walt was healthy, there really just wasn't a lot of opportunity for him. And now he's going to be, a really impactful guard off the bench for us this year.
Without a doubt. All right, we're going to squeeze in some audience questions here as our time is running a little bit short. Parker has got the microphone tonight. Parker, fire away.
All right, our first question of the night is from Jeff.
All right, Coach, real quick, 2 quick questions. One about analytics and one about chemistry. First, I know you do analytics. You're known for it. How do you use analytics in the speed of a game time versus prepping with pregame? Pregame, setting up your scouting or strategy. How do you use analytics during the game? Also, chemistry. We always hear about player chemistry having to be built with transition. But what about coaching chemistry? What do you do to develop the coaches' chemistry when we lose coaches and bring new coaches in?
Okay. Man, you're hitting me with some tough ones here to start. Analytics in the game, my best way to explain that is we're just trying to really, we're reading the stat sheet every 4 minutes in the timeouts, and we're trying to figure out, if we're obviously proficient in some areas or deficient in some areas. I think the best way in games, obviously rebounding is a big one for us. I think, if we're trending towards, winning the boards by 6, 8, 10, then we're in good shape. If we're not, then we're going to get that right. We're looking at what we're giving up from 2. We're looking at what we're giving up from 3. We're looking at if we're fouling too much. So we're just evaluating that data that we're getting on the score sheet at every timeout to try to put ourselves in better position coming out of the media. In regards to chemistry as a coaching staff, that's a really good question. We lost 2 guys to head jobs, both Division I head jobs this year, which, for me, I'm really proud of. Those 2 now in San Francisco, so I have 3 guys that had worked for me that are now head coaches. Being 40, I take a lot of pride in that. My goal is to have a lot more guys as well coming through our program. The funny thing is for me, it's really, I try to hire most guys that I know. I might not necessarily have worked with them before, but I go with the brothers or cousins strategy. Brothers being guys that I've worked with before, cousins being guys that have worked with guys that I've worked with before. Trying to make sure that, because for me, loyalty and connectivity are the 2 most important things when you build a staff. Dave Klasky came down from NYU. He's actually Kevin Hovde's brother-in-law, believe it or not. really good coach in his own right, was a great point guard at Penn back in his playing days, and gives us another guy that's been a head coach. He was at NYU for 3 or 4 years as head coach. Really, really bright. Obviously, you don't go to the Ivy League unless you know what you're doing from an intellectual standpoint, and has seen and been around our program a lot. So even though he hasn't been on our staff, like, he knows how we operate and he knows what's important to us. So, in terms of building that chemistry, like, I'm just bringing in good dudes that are easy to get along with because we're around them as much as we are with our family, and I like to enjoy my work.
All right. I mean, nailed it.
Thank you.
Some people use the LinkedIn app. You have a Cousins app that you're developing.
Brothers and cousins.
Brothers and cousins.
That's right.
All right, our next question is from Jose.
Hi, Coach. First thing, congratulations.
Thank you, my friend.
Okay. How you feel to meet the President of the United States?
It was amazing.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, it was an incredible moment. I think regardless of political affiliation, when you have an opportunity to get invited to the White House and be honored there, it's something that, you can never take lightly, and we were certainly appreciative of the opportunity. And listen, my hope is that we put ourselves in position to get back there at some point here in the near future.
Parker, I got time for one more.
All right, this is from Jim.
Okay, Jim.
Coach, congratulations again. Loved watching the team last year. And just out of curiosity, are we going to see Ali Giroux from Canada this year?
You'll see him. He's on the team. He'll be there every game. In terms of getting on the floor, listen, Ollie's getting a lot better, first and foremost. And I think people like, Sean comes by practice quite a bit. He sees how these guys have continued to improve over the time in our program. Where he is now from where he was when he first got here, he's made great strides. The fortunate thing for our program, and probably the unfortunate thing for Ollie specifically, is we have some really, really good players in the front court. And, Ruby, Mike at the 5, Kondo at the 4, Tommy playing a little 3 and the 4. Like, there's just not going to be a lot of opportunity for other guys to be playing. Victor Mikic is another guy that's really improved. I anticipate him having some really good success as a Gator. But, again, he's got some really talented older players in front of him.
Jim, thanks. I was going to ask you about the Coach's Challenge. I'm just going to wait till the regular season starts.
Sounds great.
I made you a promise. So, and Alex Condon's here, and he said, Coach,
they just want to see him anyways. I don't blame him.
I get it. Coach, thanks for doing this tonight in the middle of training camp and whatnot.
Yep.
Exhibition game on Saturday, closed.
Closed door scrimmage, yes.
Right,
Yep.
against Illinois.
Against Illinois, yeah. It will be a good test for us.
Yeah, and will you feel like then it's time to go? Do you have that sense?
Honestly, I feel like that right now.
Okay.
I'm getting a little anxious just sitting here next to you.
I know
I'm
the
ready to
players
compete.
are too.
Yeah.
Yep. Great to see you, Coach.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate you, brother.
Congratulations again.
Go Gators.
And good luck. Yep, go Gators.
Thanks, y'all.
Alex Condon after this on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Gators, Chris Doring here. Growing up in Gainesville, my dream was to be a Florida Gator. I was honored to be a part of a team that changed it all in the mid-90s. Drawing on that same determination and work ethic, myself and my team at Chris Doring Mortgage put forth relentless effort to get our clients to the closing table and into a home they love. Find out how we can help you with a purchase loan or a refinance. Visit ChrisDoringMortgage.com.
Chris Doring Mortgage, powered by MortgageAdvisors.com, NMLS 701-68193-7321, Equal Housing Lender.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit QualityPlumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
If an insurance company is there to sell you insurance, shouldn't it also be there to service it with real people? At Florida Farm Bureau Insurance, we're here to help. We're focused on your specific needs. That's why we have local agents working for you in every county across the state, offering competitive rates and fast, friendly service. It's more than insurance. It's the kind of treatment you deserve. Find a local agent at ffbic.com to set up your free, no-obligation insurance review. Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best. Proud to support Gators Athletics.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Gator Country, we're all excited about our teams on the field, but you also need to be excited to experience the new sports merchandise retailer, Rally House. Located just blocks away from the swamp, near the intersection of Buckman Drive and West University Ave, Rally House has all you need to get geared up for game day. Get a fresh fit from our new friends at Rally House. Your city, your house, Rally House.
Need to sell your house fast? Whether you're facing foreclosure, stuck with bad tenants, or just ready for a fresh start, House Buyer Network can help. We buy homes as is for cash. No fees, no commissions, no repairs. Get a fair cash offer in just 24 hours and close in as little as 7 days. Call 833-464-0827 now for your free no-obligation offer. That's 833-464-0827. House Buyer Network. Fast cash, no hassle.
Every Gator football game all season long, right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes, your home for all things orange and blue. Once again, here's Sean Kelley.
This season, the Florida Credit Union is proud to sponsor the Beyond the Arc campaign for each three-pointer the men's and women's basketball teams make in the regular season. Florida Credit Union will donate $25 to the Education Foundation of Alachua County in support of the Take Stock in Children Mentoring Program. So thank you, Florida Credit Union, member-owned, community-proud since 1954. Can't wait to see three balls raining. The guy sitting next to me may shoot a few more of those this year based on what I'm watching in practice. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Miller's Ale House and Gator Talk, preseason first-team All-American and national champion, Alex Condon. Hello, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. You almost cringed when I said preseason first-team All-American.
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
No, I love it, but it's early on, so yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do before I can call myself that. So I'm locked in.
Very, very good perspective on that. I have to tell this story. I've not told this story publicly, but I'm going to do it tonight. So after the team won the championship, and then they paraded down Riverwalk in San Antonio, we got back to the hotel really late. And it was a chance for all of us, kind of players, coaches, basketball family, to kind of decompress. We hung out in a big ballroom at the team hotel. We took over the speaker and played music. It was a good time. It got to be the point at the night where my wife Kim and I were there, and Alex was there. There was a couple of the players, and that was pretty much it. Everybody had kind of called it a night. And I'm looking at the championship trophy, and I'm like, that trophy has to get to the bus to get back to Gainesville in about 3 hours. I'm not so sure I trust Alex and his buddies to make sure that trophy gets to that bus at 7:30 a.m. So, partner, that's why I made sure I took the trophy and didn't leave it with you guys.
You can trust us next time, bro. We'll bring back another one next year. So.
Did you hear that? You can trust us next time. What do you remember about that night? You were the last to touch the ball when the horn expired.
Yeah, it was the whole day and night. Just it's kind of a blank spot in my mind. Honestly, it's just such a surreal feeling. All working so hard all year with that team and the same group. You eat, sleep, and you play together like almost 2 times a week and stuff. So it's a very special team and unbelievable experience.
No doubt. What was the craziest experience in the summer, the off season?
The craziest experience
as a champ.
As a champ,
yeah.
We did a lot of traveling. We went to Miami for a bit and went to Jamaica. Went out to LA, and then I started doing all my pre-draft workouts. So I was traveling to Indiana, Atlanta, Toronto, all these different places that from an Australian guy, it's pretty far and foreign for me. So diversifying myself a little bit and getting to do those experiences was pretty elite, and I want to do it again.
Yeah, no, it'd be great to do it all again. Another thing you did was the pre-draft evaluation process. Hard, exhilarating. How would you describe it?
Oh, it was one of the toughest things I've done in my life. Like just waking up at 6 every morning and starting to sprint hills and really just but you're basically a pro at that point. Just waking up really early and sticking to the grind. So. I feel like I've tried to bring that back a little bit this year with me and bring that to the Gators as a team as well. So me and Tommy both had that experience, and it was pretty elite.
Having spent most of my career in the NBA and that level, sometimes the coaching criticism evaluation is more than honest. And they don't sugarcoat anything. How was that? What did they tell you, and what did you take to heart to prepare yourself for perhaps that step down the road here?
Yeah, well, the main thing with me is just shooting. I'm going to be playing the 4 this year for the Gators and play 4 and 5, but I think it's just another thing that I can add to my arsenal if I can shoot consistently. And make a few more free throws this year would be good as well. And just be confident shooting the 3. I think a lot of guys are going to leave me a step or two behind the 3-point line. And I've been shooting them all preseason. It's what I've been doing. It's something that you guys are going to see this year for sure. 2
guys you played with made their NBA debuts this week. Walter Clayton Jr. and Will Richard this week. A, did you watch? And B, is that some source of information or inspiration that you could be the next in that line of Gators?
Yeah, it's so exciting just watching those guys, share the court with NBA legends. We watched Will play with Steph and Al Horford the other night. The whole team was pretty much watching, and it's just it's a kind of moment. Will made his first 2 buckets and made some big plays defensively, and Walt did his thing. I think it was yesterday for Utah as well. So those guys are pros, and they're the reason why we won the national championship. So we're going to try to emulate that again this year.
Did you and your mates have anything to say about Will Richard's hair for the NBA debut?
Yeah, it was a bit crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was out there.
But he's had a few hairstyles, so it wasn't something new to me. Yeah,
no doubt. When you talk about the teammates that you're returning with, what kind of a comfort level is there in returning with Tommy that you started your career here with, Micah too, Ruben? There has to be some familiarity from one season to the next. Do they provide that to you?
Yeah, I think definitely. Just all the bigs came back, and we can just build on what we did last year. We were kind of the backup band to the big 3 last year, but we talk to each other all the time about it. That we're the main guys this year, and we got to fill those shoes for those guys. So
the backup band.
The backup band. That's how I'm going to phrase it. Yeah.
Okay. But now you're front row. Now
we're front row, so we got expectations. We're going to do our best.
Coach and I were talking earlier. I know there's this thing about we're not going to talk too much about repeating. Mm-hmm. But it's in the room. I mean, look at this room tonight. I mean, it's packed, right?
Yeah.
So how do you balance that as a player?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Coach said to us pretty early on that we're not going to talk about repeating too much and just focus on this year and really, put all the energy into that. And it's going to be a way harder task this year to, teams are going to be out to get us every night, try and take that number 1 spot. We're the reigning national champions, and we just got to take it one night at a time. And I think road environments are going to be super fun this year. People are going to, give it to us, so we got to be ready.
Yes. Are you ready to see a championship ring?
I'm excited. I can't wait. It's going to be unbelievable to see that. Yeah.
Maybe it'll fit your hand. They're giant.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's coming up, though. That'd be something to kind of put a cap on the thing, right?
Yeah, it would just be I think we're doing it before one of the games. I can't remember which one, but just to have that ring ceremony and that, just a celebration of last year is going to be pretty awesome to see.
No doubt. Alex Connor's still with us here to the top of the hour. We'll take a break. Get right back to talking to our man from Australia here in just a moment on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Gators, when you bring Hellman's creamy buffalo chicken dip to the watch party, you can be a couch coach, cheer too loud, or worse, bring a friend who knows nothing about football.
How do they get the yellow line to move on the field?
Because when you do dip with Hellman's, you can do no wrong. That's a Hail Mayo. Hellman's, the official mayonnaise of Florida Athletics. Bring out the best.
VyStar Credit Union has teamed up with UF Athletics to bring you the VyStar Gators credit card, launching soon. Whether you're a student, alum, or Gator fan, eligible members will be matched with a card that lets you put more swamp into every swipe. Enjoy up to 20% off select Gators game tickets and a $150 bonus with your new VyStar UF Gators credit card. Be the first to know when the cards are available. First 50 cardholders will get tickets to the Florida-Tennessee game on November 22nd. Join the wait list now at VyStarCU.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Bonus offer subject to eligibility. Terms and conditions apply. Limited to the first 50 eligible cardholders. Visit VyStarCU.org for full details.
Gator fans, your dream home is closer than you think. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Florida Gators and the 2025 National Builder of the Year, is offering incredible interest rate incentives across communities in Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tampa. Whether you're a first-time buyer or ready to upgrade, there's no better time than now to start owning, and we have the home for you. Start your search today at dreamfindershomes.com. Dreamfinders Homes, built for Florida, built for Gators.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Craving real Cuban flavor? Come to Miapa Latin Cafe, where every bite tastes like home. From juicy roast chicken with yellow rice and black beans, to crispy empanadas, sweet plantains, hearty breakfasts, and our bold, iconic cafecito. Your taste buds will thank you. With 6 locations plus our mobile food truck, there's always a Miapa close by, ready to serve up warm hospitality for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Planning an event? Let Miapa cater with real Latin flavor that everyone will love. Just head to miapalatincafe.com to get started. So what are you waiting for? Come taste real Cuban, real warmth, real flavor. Visit Miapa Latin Cafe or order online at miapalatincafe.com today.
Buen provecho.
Miapa Latin Cafe, best Cuban food north of Miami.
This is former Gator quarterback Shane Matthews, and you're listening to the home of Gator football, WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Live from Miller's Ale House in Celebration Point, you're listening to Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes. Once again, here's Sean Kelley.
All right, Meldon Law, the official injury and accident law partner of the Gators, is proud to sponsor the Charity Stripe campaign again this season to benefit the Ronald McDonald House Charities of North Central Florida. Meldon Law has been serving our community since 1971, and for every free throw, Alex, the Gators make this season, both men and women, Meldon Law will donate $19.71 to the Ronald McDonald House Charities. Thank you, Meldon Law. I do want to point out, Elijah Martin, by the way, also made his NBA debut last night. Elijah's on a 2-way contract with the Raptors. So we talk about the lead front guy, the front row singers from last year. They all have seen a little time there. And I did not tell them I was going to do this, but we have members of the Dazzlers here tonight. Ladies, would you mind standing up? This group works very hard. They're a part of our game day experience, so thank you for coming tonight. And we'll look forward to you at the O-Dome here coming up. Alex, we have 2 prizes to give away tonight. I want to do them right now. Would you mind doing the honors?
I'd love to. Let's do it.
So we have 2 tickets to the Gators basketball game against North Florida. We'll do that. Red tickets, everybody. I hope you got one when you came in. We did a good job of making sure those got passed out. I say that. Last 4 numbers, if you don't mind.
The last 4.
Yep.
They're 4949.
4949. 4949. It's going to be hard to find them in the crowd. Okay, there's our winner for that. And we also have a signed Todd Golden basketball to give away tonight, Alex. So 1 more to choose.
Okay.
Yep.
We got 4997.
4997. 4997. Got it. Perfect. Good job.
There we go.
Look, by the way, so I've been trying to get to know some of our players, especially our international guys, a little bit. So the other day I wanted to know how to tell Alex good job as an Aussie would, and it's good on you.
Good on you, mate.
Good on you, mate. Or, as I've been told, you can just say on you. Is that right?
That's pretty slang. That's pretty Aussie. I don't know if I'm at that level, but
good on you, I can say that?
Yeah, you can say good on you.
All right, good on you on that. All right.
Play on.
Play on. What else? What else should I? Well, I've got you.
Well, you said you're going to bring out Crikey this year. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, maybe Crikey.
On a 3.
This seemed a little cliche, though, don't you think?
It is a pretty cliche. The Australians watching at home will probably cringe a little bit.
All right, but if I say good on you, if you hit a 3?
Yeah, good on you. That's better. I like that.
Okay, I think we're on to something.
We're still working on it.
You mentioned that you guys are now the lead singers of this band, and you've got some new bandmates in the back court. Can you give our fans a little bit of an idea what now it's like for you to play with, say, a Boogie Fland or a Xavier Lee?
Yeah, Boogie and X are really hard-working guys. They came into the program, with a lot of expectations, I think, this year, and they've just been managing them really well. They're both really hard workers. I think X, the main thing that he wanted to do was put on weight in the off-season, so yeah, he's been lifting really hard. I'm there with him at the diner hall every day. He's eating the right food, and he's an elite passer. He goes really well shooting, and yeah, finds me in good places too. So I love playing with X. But Boogie, yeah, he came in with, I think, a little injury in his groin, and he's attacked that rehab really well as well, I think. And, yeah, he's been a good player for us so far in practice too. He showed real promise. I think he's going to be a great player for us this year.
Yeah, they look terrific, by the way. And here's another thing I've noticed in practice. If you take your eyes off of either of those guys, you might get a ball in your ear. I mean, passes seem to come from nowhere from those guys.
Yeah, they play with a lot of confidence with that, yeah.
Yeah, and you've become a better passer yourself. Was that another area of emphasis for you?
Yeah, I think, Ruben and Mike are really good bigs at, catching the ball when I throw it to them. So, yes, it's been an emphasis for me to come back and just add to my offensive game, be unselfish. And I think, NBA teams will see that and see it's a transferable skill to the next level too.
No doubt. It has been a big improvement for Alex for sure. Alex, a lot of times Gators fans last year saw you, Tommy, Ruben, Micah, all operate in what's called kind of a horn set. So think of the top of the lane, the elbows there. The Gators start their bigs out up high quite a bit. What advantage is that, and why do you all do that as far as the positioning and the way that works through a play?
Yeah, well, we have those horn sets is like a big part of our offense. I don't want to get too technical, but just having one big Michael or Ruben as the 5, and then having me and Tommy at the 4 on the other elbow, we can just manipulate defenses. And me and Tommy are really, I think, good shooters from the perimeter. So if we set a screen on an elite pass like Boogie or Xavier at the top, it's going to force the defense to either take away Boogie or X or close out on the shooter when we pop out after setting the screen. And we got elite rebounders, Micah and Ruben down low. And I think just having Tommy at the 3 this year is a big game changer as well for us, because we can switch 3 to 5 pretty easily. Like, Tommy played the 4 all last year, and he's used to playing that. So defensively, I think it's going to be really hard for teams to score on us.
That's amazing. Are you a stats guy?
A stats guy?
Stats, yes.
I took stats last semester. I didn't do too good. So
I don't like those kind of stats either. I like points per game, rebounds per game, effective field goal percentage, assists per game, stuff like that. If we're talking about those kind of stats, what would make you happy?
For my stats?
Yes, for your stats.
I hate doing this, talking about my stats, but I want to average close to a double-double, I think. I think I can do that this year. And I just want the team to go as far as we can, because, if we win games, then everybody eats. You saw it with the 3-beat, the front stage guys, as we call them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, those guys all went to the NBA after not being ranked preseason anything. So I just want this team to go as far as we can and bring another one back to you guys in Gainesville.
I would love that too, no doubt. Let's end with this. When you're the national champ, there's a lot of coverage. We'll learn a lot more about you and your teammates moving forward. There are going to be things, though, that no one will ever be able to learn about the Gators unless the Gators themselves say it. If there was one thing as we start this new season that you would want fans to know about this group, it would be what?
I think the unselfishness that we play with. It's going to be a different type of basketball that you guys are going to see this year. There's going to be, I think the ball will almost touch everyone's hands. Each possession on offense, there's a lot of unselfishness. It wasn't really me and Tommy last year, holding the ball for the whole time. Walt was an amazing player, and he could create a shot out of anything. But I don't think we're really a one-headed snake this year. It's going to be 5 guys on the court the whole time, just a threat to anyone. So I think that's how we're going to run this year.
I love that. I can't wait for it to start. I know you guys are eager to play somebody else too, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. You bet, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Condon, national champ, and, of course, a part of the run here. The Title Defender Tour starts 1 week from Monday. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thanks for your time, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Yep. There you go.
All right.
Good on you.
Wrap it. Yeah, nice. I like it. Wrap it up here after this on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
My best friend Riley loved going to the beach. She was a great swimmer. Then one day, during a swim meet, she collapsed. She had cancer, Hodgkin lymphoma. She spent months getting care at UF Health. The doctors did so much, even put her in a clinical trial. I wish we could go to the beach right now, but she's working.
Out of the water.
She's on lifeguard duty. Maybe we'll head out when her shift is done.
UF Health. Human progress has no finish line.
Hey Gator Nation, this is Vicki Brown-Worski, Director of Gators in Powhurt.
As the Bank of Doing and official sponsor of Florida Athletics, Wells Fargo is supporting our student athletes on and off the field with interactive financial health curriculum and empowerment resources. Wells Fargo has a game plan for the full student athlete experience from their first semester on campus through graduation. Learn more about what Wells Fargo is doing to put people and communities first by visiting wellsfargo.com/impact.
Is that Tacoma towing a pink mechanical bull? Sure seems like it. Well, I'll be.
Truck like you truck with a great deal during Toyota Truck Month. Get $1,000 in Conquest bonus cash for new Toyota customers on a new 2025 Toyota Tacoma. Valid through November 3rd, 2025. Offer entitles $1,000 Conquest bonus cash on certain new 2025 and 2026 Toyota pickup trucks for current non-Toyota owners of small, midsize, and large pickup trucks. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places.
This is Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Joe, what are you and Mary doing for the Gators game? Want to come by my place and watch it?
No offense, Mick, but your place is more humid than Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, and that place is nicknamed the Swamp. Why don't you guys come over to our place instead? We'll have some snacks, hamburgers, hot dogs, cold drinks, and cold air.
That sounds good, Joe. I don't know who to call about the AC. There are so many companies out there. How do you know who to call?
That's easy, Mick. Call the company we always call. Charles Berg Enterprises.
When your home comfort is on the line, trust the name Gainesville has counted on since 1967. Charles Berg Enterprises. Charles Berg Enterprises is still family owned and still guided by the values Charles Berg believed in: integrity, reliability, and exceptional customer care. And they use the best equipment on the market. Train. It's hard to stop a train. So if you don't want your home feeling like the swamp and you don't want to get swamped with high electric bills, call Charles Berg Enterprises today and experience comfort you can count on. Visit CharlesBergEnterprises.com or call now to schedule your next service.
Charles Berg.
Charles Berg.
Charles Berg.
Every Gator football game all season long, right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
It's Thursday night, and you're tuned in to Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes. Once again, here's Sean Kelley.
Gators fans, your ultimate Florida Gator shopping experience awaits at Alumni Hall. Shop the best and officially licensed Gator gear from Nike champion Peter Millar, New Era, Yeti, and more. Spend $150 and you'll receive $10 in hall cash for your next shop apparel for the family. And, of course, you can always get them online, too, or on their app, Alumni Hall, where Gators fans shop. We all know what next week is, right? Hate week, sure, Georgia, call whatever you want. We'll be right back here next Thursday night at 7. Billy Gonzalez will make his Gator Talk debut at 7 o'clock. So I hope that you come out and support Coach G, Billy G, on Thursday night for that edition of Gator Talk. And we anticipate, as usual, we'll have a member of the football team with us as well. The football team, strangely enough, not back at home in the Swamp until November 22nd. That's going to be the Saluting Those Who Serve game as we get Tennessee here on that Saturday. There are some tickets available. I say some. FloridaGators.com/tickets to get yours today. Steve Egan, in his 30th season with us, will begin his 30th basketball season as well. We're going to debut a new feature at halftime this year, Egan's Archives. He'll be telling some of the stories over those last 30 years. Thank you for being here again tonight, Steve. You made it sound wonderful. Thanks to all of you. You made this a wonderful Thursday night. Well done, Gators. Well done. Thanks to Todd Golden and Alex Condon. I'm Sean Kelley. We'll see you next week on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
You've been listening to Gator Talk, presented by Dreamfinders Homes, building throughout Florida, official home builder of the Gators. Tonight's show has also been brought to you by UF Health. At UF Health, we believe human progress has no finish line. Visit humanprogress.ufhealth.org to learn more. Melvin Law, official injury and accident law firm sponsor of the Florida Gators. We won't back down. Hellman's Real Mayonnaise. Do dip with Hellman's and do no wrong. And by Wells Fargo, official retail bank of the Florida Gators. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Gator Sports Network.
Who did you let down today? Your wife? Your kids? Well, how about yourself?
Take a look in the mirror. If you're tired of your drug and alcohol problem, you need to fix the problem, and right now, before you hurt or kill yourself, or worse yet, somebody else. Call the addiction specialist now at the Reset Addiction Treatment Helpline. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll find you the right treatment regardless of your financial situation. When you call right now, you'll speak to a recovering addict who understands what you're going through right now. Let us help you break your addiction to drug and alcohol before it's too late. This call is completely confidential and free. So take 5 minutes of your time and call us right now. We're here answering the phone. I promise it'll change your life.
Call 800-853-0975. That's 800-853-0975. 800-853-0975. Again, 800-853-0975.
Your home for Gators football. WRUF Gainesville. W251CG Gainesville. WRUF FM HD2. And on the WRUF radio app.
Westwood. This is Sports Center.
Your home for the NFL. WRUF Gainesville.